If c is a constant, that just means it's a number. It could be 7, it could be 8, it could be 9, whatever. You've got to take the derivative of it, so of course it would just be 3x squared. 13 is kind of like number 9. You have to take the derivative of each term separately, or you could get a common denominator from the very beginning, and it would be t to the 4th. Your t squared is missing a t squared, so it would be, no it's not, it would be t to the 6th up top, my bad. Let's see, let me write this down. If your common denominator is t to the 4th, this one is missing the t to the 4th, so you have to multiply this by t to the 4th, and makes it t to the 6th, minus. This one is missing 2 t's, so you have to multiply the 1 by t squared. And this one has everything, and then you could do Hody High. So you could use your sum and difference rule on 13 or do Hody High. 14 is 8x cubed minus the constant rule, so it's 3 times the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine, plus the derivative of sine, which is cosine. So number 14 is easy. 15 is product rule. 16 is Hody High, and I'll do that one. It's bottom times the derivative of your top, which would be cosine, minus your top, times the derivative of your bottom, which would be negative cosine x. I hope I don't make a mistake on this, over Ho squared. And no, don't say 1 minus sine squared, because you'd actually have to FOIL that out if you wanted to simplify it. Up here you need to do the distributive property, so you've got cosine x minus sine x cosine x. Right here you need to do the distributive property, so that is positive cosine x minus plus sine x cosine x, and it's all over Ho squared, but I'll fix it in a minute. Those cancel, and you have like terms. You have 2 cosine x's over Ho squared. So that's your answer on that one. 17, oh my goodness, that's one of those that you might have to, kind of like we did yesterday that y'all complained about. I would just, well, it's not that bad. I would just use power rule. 1/2 x to the negative 1/2, bring your power to the front, times your x, reduce your power by 1, minus, bring your power to the front, times your x, reduce your power by 1, and then you just need to clean it up. 1/2 square root of x, plus 1/2 square root of x cubed. And you can leave it x to 3/2, x to 1/2, I don't care. 19 is product rule. 20. Let's see, you got to evaluate the derivative at the given point. So your function is pi x over 2 at 2/3 and 1/2. So you have to take the derivative. Oh my goodness, and we hadn't done chain rule yet, so you'll have to wait on that. So let's skip, I'll just change number 20, but not right now because I'll have to make that one. So number 21 is Hody High, so it's bottom, times the derivative of the top, which I think is secant x tangent x, minus the top, times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. So your x is pi, so you have pi times secant of pi, which remember here's your pi over here, so it's negative 1, 0. So secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so it is negative 1 times the tangent of pi, which is sine over cosine, which is 0 over negative 1, which is 0, minus secant, which is negative 1, all over pi squared. That is going to cancel out, and you have 1 over pi squared. And I'm probably covering all that up. On number 22 and 23, you have to write the equation of the tangent line. And I'm going to probably have to look at some of my derivatives. You've got cotangent x minus 2, cosecant x, and x is pi over 3. I'm going to go ahead and find my y because you need your ordered pair anyway. So you have cosine of pi over 3 over sine of pi over 3 minus 2 times 1 over sine of pi over 3. And I think it's square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2, but I'm not positive. Hold on. Okay, so pi over 3, your cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Your sine of pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. I'll fix that in a minute. Minus 2 over sine of pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. So you got complex fractions. So that is 1/2 times 2 over square root of 3, which gives you 1 over square root of 3, which is square root of 3 over 3, minus, this would be 2 over 1 times 2 over square root of 3, which is 4 over square root of 3, which is 4 square root of 3 over 3. They have common denominators, so you can combine those, and that gives you negative 3 square root of 3 over 3, so your y is negative square root of 3, if I did not goof up. Y'all work it out and make sure I did not. Okay, so now I'm at the derivative. The derivative is negative cosecant squared x minus 2, and the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant x cotangent x, so that changes that to a positive, and I believe that is the correct derivative. Okay, and I should have written that stuff down. Oh well. So cosecant would be negative cosecant of pi over 3 squared plus 2 times cosecant of pi over 3 cotangent pi over 3. So this is negative 1 over sine pi over 3, and then you will square it, plus 2 1 over sine of pi over 3 and cosine of pi over 3 and over sine of pi over 3. And see, if I really had kept that a little while ago, when I wrote all that stuff down, I wouldn't have to compute this again. So 1 over sine of pi over 3, I'm not going to fix it right now.
Can I have your attention? All girls that are trying out for the basketball team, you're now dismissed for the weight room. Thank you.
Cosine is 1/2 over square root of 3 over 2, and I'll fix that in just a second. This would be 4 over 3, but it would be negative because the negative is out front. It was not being, the negative was not being squared. Let me fix this. This would be, 1/2 times 2 over square root of 3, so I'm just going to leave it 1 over square root of 3 for right now. So that is 4 square root of 3, I multiplied those two, times 1 over square root of 3. The reason why I didn't flip it up or do the kick method up is because sometimes it gets rid of itself. So you have negative 4/3 plus, these are multiplying, which is positive 4/3, which means your slope is 0. Your derivative is 0. That means you have a horizontal tangent. So you shouldn't have to plug in your y equals mx plus b. You should already know that your equation should be y equals negative square root of 3. You can still plug in your x and your y and your m and get it, but you should get y equals negative square root of 3. Okay, number 23, you're also writing the equation. I do not multiply those out yet. Don't do the distributive property is what I'm saying, because you don't have a derivative for finding sine squared x. Right now, y'all only have a derivative for finding like sine, cosine, tangent, just with the plane of x. You don't have a derivative for sine squared. So leave it like it is, which means you are going to have to do product rule. So you have f of x times the derivative of g of x, which is cosine x minus sine, plus g of x, which is sine x, plus cosine x, times the derivative of sine, which is cosine x. Now that you've taken the derivative, you can distribute. Now you can go ahead and plug in pi over 4 right here if you want to, or you could distribute and get sine x cosine x minus sine squared x plus, I mean, it does not matter. It's just preference. It don't matter. So you got the sine of pi over 4, which I think is square root of 2 over 2. Yes. So that's square root of 2 over 2. Cosine is also square root of 2 over 2 minus square root of 2 over 2. Over here, same thing. Y'all just got to be real careful with your signs. Okay, right here. This is 0. So 0 times that means that side's going to cancel out. Right here, you can either distribute or go ahead and add these up. Let's just go ahead and distribute. You have square root of 2 times this, which gives you 2 over 4, because your square root times your square root, plus, same thing, 2 over 4, which gives you 4 over 4, which gives you a slope of 1. So if your slope is 1, then you plug in, and I got to erase some of this, y equals m x, no, not bad, y equals m times x plus b, 1 minus pi over 4 is your b, so your equation would be y equals 1x plus your b, which is 1 minus pi over 4. And I think that, oh, that's not it. 24 is just the second derivative. You can omit 26 and 27, because that was the first thing that we did, but y'all got confused on the C, so don't worry about that. 24 is the second derivative, so you take the first derivative, which is 3 cosine x, and then you take the derivative of that, so it's negative 3 sine x, so there's your answer on 24. 25 is Hody High, and you got to do it twice. So it's bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over bottom squared. And you can't reduce anything, so you got 2x squared plus 2x minus x squared minus 2x plus 1 over